Italian Semifreddo. Oh, so good, so good. What is a semifreddo? Well, semifreddo is kind of an ice cream, but what's great about it is that you don't need an ice cream freezer, and that's why I like to make it. And it starts simply with a base of some sort of custard or curd, and lemon curd is a great base, and whipped cream, and that's basically it. So if you have some leftover pudding or anything like that, and I know you're thinking, how many people have 2 cups of leftover lemon curd just sitting around? Well, probably not too many. So you start with a couple of cups of cold, if you've made it fresh, make sure it's cooled down completely in the refrigerator, cold, because you're going to mix some whipped cream in that, and if you put the whipped cream in with warm custard or curd, it's just going to make it go flat, and you're not going to have a good experience with your semifreddo. I know you want to make a great semifreddo, so make sure everything's really cold when you start. Alright, we're going to take our custard and just kind of set it aside and get our bowl out, and we're just going to whip some heavy whipping cream. So get it out of your refrigerator. And this is a pint, which means it's 2 cups, and that's what I need. Now, 2 cups of whipping cream to 2 cups of curd or custard base. But I don't want to make quite that much today, so I'm only going to get up my 1 cup. There we go. Pour that into the bowl. Let's not waste any of our cream, leaving it in our measuring cup. Alright. Let's put our cream back in the refrigerator. Alright. It's all about beating air into our whipped cream. Alright. This is going to take me a few minutes. You really don't want to sit here and watch me beat this cream. So let's take a break. When I come back, we'll be all ready to go. Remember, when you're beating your cream, don't overbeat your whipped cream. You want it so it's just barely starting to set up. So when you pull up your beaters or your whisk, it just holds a peak. Don't beat it so it stiff peaks. You won't get a good semifreddo if it's whipped too much, okay? So really watch it. It can go from being perfect to being over whipped in about 5-10 seconds. So be real careful. Alright, see you back here, in a couple of minutes or so. Alright, that didn't take very long at all. Okay, it's not super stiff, it's still very soft. It's perfect for a semifreddo. Alright, let's measure out your flavor base, whether you're using the lemon curd or a chocolate custard or a vanilla custard or a mocha custard, or it's kind of endless. If you love gelato, I'm measuring out a cup. And if you love gelato, I think you're really going to like semifreddo. It's not quite as creamy. Alright, let's get our spatula out, because we're going to fold this into our whipped cream. Alright, folding it into our whipped cream. Folding is simply not beating it in here, keeping the air in your whipped cream by folding gently in. Okay, just put your base right in the middle of your whipped cream. Remember, this base is really cold. The whipped cream is cold, our base is cold. Get it all out there, and you're just using equal parts whipped cream, and we didn't put any sugar in the whipped cream. It's just plain heavy whipping cream. No sugar, no vanilla. Your base has plenty of sugar in it, plenty of flavor. Alright, Now we just fold it in, okay? Gently folding it in just until that base is completely mixed into our whipped cream. We want to keep it nice and light and fluffy. Okay. It's a really nice light dessert. Light in taste, light in feel, but heavy whipping cream and custard. Probably not terribly light in calories. A bit of fat in there, but you know, every once in a while, you get a hankering for some ice cream. Yum. Okay. Alright, doesn't take very long. Now you can put this into one big kind of mold, put it in the or you can freeze it, put it in the freezer. Or I am going to put it in a couple of ramekins. I'm going to fill these ramekins up. And I'll show you what you can do if you want to make kind of a fancier dessert. Maybe you're having a special celebration. Alright, I'm not going to fill it all the way up to the top because I want to leave a little bit of room for a topping that I'm going to put on it. Okay, just set it aside. These little ramekins I just found at IKEA. Not very expensive. They can go into your oven. And you wouldn't think we're going to put a frozen dessert into the oven, but the topping that I'm going to make for this is going to take just a quick blast under the broiler. Alright? Anything extra, just go ahead and put in to some other freezer containers. I have other little 1 cup containers here, and what I like about these is they all have lids. So I'm just going to put these in the freezer, and if my family wants to have a treat, they can go get one of these out of the freezer. Alright. So a cup of whipping cream and a cup of flavor-based custard or curd will make about 4 servings. They don't have to be big servings because it's kind of a rich dessert. Super easy dessert. Okay, doesn't that look good? I get to lick the spatula. You know, it's good just the way it is, but it's going to be super good. Little tart, not too sweet, definitely has that Italian European flavor to it. You know, in America we love our desserts super sweet. Over in Europe, they don't sweeten their things quite as much as we do. They go for the flavor, the pure flavors of the ingredients. And if you do that, you don't have to eat quite as much. You don't get that addicted, sugary high. This is kind of tart, but sweet, lemony, delicious. Has a wonderful feel in your mouth when you eat it. So I'm going to put some lids on these, and I'm going to stick them in the freezer, and I'm going to put some plastic wrap on the ramekins, because I don't have lids for the ramekins, so just put some freezer wrap or just regular plastic wrap over the top. Keep them from drying out. We're just going to stick those right into the freezer. Now these will not freeze super hard. They're not supposed to. It's a semifreddo, semi-frozen. All right. Grab a couple of lids. These are ready to go into the freezer. So I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to work on the topping that we're going to put on that semifreddo. It's just simply a meringue. and it's going to be beautiful and glossy and just really great with our semifreddo. All right, meringues are really easy. Meringues are egg whites beaten with a little bit of sugar. But this is a special meringue. It's an Italian type meringue, and it's made with a simple syrup of sugar and water. And it's really easy to do. Have to take a little bit of practice to get it just right, but it's not hard. So here's the process. All right, you're going to use a nice heavy saucepan for your sugar syrup. And we're going to boil just a 1/4 cup of water with a 1/2 cup of sugar, and that water is just to get that sugar starting to dissolve. And you're going to cook that over medium-high heat. All right, we're just going to get that dissolving, stir it around until it dissolves. You're going to bring it up to the boil, and you're going to let it boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now at high altitude, you're going to have to let it boil a little bit longer than that, because remember, we're not getting it as hot, so it may have to go a little bit longer. But you'll know when it's done when you pick up a spoon and threads start coming off of it. That's when it's done, and you turn it off, okay? And to our sugar syrup, just give it a stir here. I like to use a little silicone pastry brush. It won't melt in my pan. You're just going to watch your sugar syrup get that sugar dissolved. One of the tricks of sugar syrup is to not work it too much, because sugar is a crystal, right? Well, you get it all dissolved in that water, you get it up to the boil, and if you add any sugar crystal back to it, it will cause the whole thing to crystallize again, and sometimes you have to start all over again. That's not what we want. Okay, it has not taken hardly any time to get that up to a boil. You're going to beat these egg whites until there's soft peaks, kind of like where our whipped cream was. Okay, you're going to want to keep your bowl stable. Okay, you're going to take your sugar syrup right out of the pan, and you're going to slowly drizzle it as you beat. You can do this with the hand mixer or with your wire whisk. Slowly beat, but you need to keep beating your egg whites as you drizzle it in. Don't put it all at once. It's kind of like tempering your egg whites. All right, here we go. Keep beating it. Alright, almost done. Alright. Okay. Now that pan looks like it's a mess. Come right out with some hot water. Don't worry. Okay, back to, now at this stage it's going to be about, it's going to take you probably 5 minutes to get your meringue nice and glossy and thick. But remember, don't go so much on time as on looks of your meringue. When it's nice and thick and glossy and mounds up just like a meringue should be, it's done, no matter how long it takes you. Alright, so I'm just going to keep beating my meringue, and we'll come back when it's all finished and ready to put on top of our semifreddo. See you in just a few minutes. Alright, we're just about there. And now I'm not going to lie to you, I wish I had that hand mixer, because I'm seriously have a sweat here. It's taken me a good 6-7 minutes to get, and my arm's about to fall off. So, here is the way you want it. It's perfect. It's glossy, falls in beautifully marshmallowy mounds. If you love 7-minute icing, like I love 7-minute icing, This is basically 7-minute icing. But it's known in the culinary world as Italian meringue. It's really good. You can eat it right out of the bowl. Like I said, we cooked it a little bit with that hot sugar syrup, so it's safe. All right, let's put it on top of our semifreddo. I've pulled it out of the freezer. It's been sitting here about, just a few minutes. Take the plastic wrap off. Now this is frozen solid. Well, as solid as ice cream ever gets solid, but it's nice and firm. I'm just going to put nice big dollops right on the top of my... You want to make sure that it goes all the way to the edge, seals it all the way around. You can pile it up as much as you want. Just make it pretty. Up on the top. And get our second one out. Isn't that pretty? It's pretty just the way it is, right like it is. Dollop on the top, all the way to the edge. Give it a good seal. Protect your semifreddo from the heat of your broiler. Give a little swirl. Alright, I'm going to put these on a cookie sheet. Make sure it's broiler safe. You're just going to put these in just long enough to make them nice and brown. Like I said, if you have a kitchen torch, just go over them a couple of times with your kitchen torch, make them nice, caramely brown on the top. But I'm going to put them in the broiler for just, probably 30 seconds to a minute. Beautiful. Turn off our broiler. It's kind of strange because the ramekins are icy cold. Just going to let those set for just a minute. Cool off the top. These don't keep, so you want to serve them right away. All right. There you go, semifreddo with an Italian meringue topping. So good. I think I'm going to bite into it. Okay. That is heaven in a cup. Heaven in a cup. Wish you were here to try it with me. See you next time. So good.